Hola, amigos.
Aha.
See what I just did there?
I did muy bueno, senor.
That's the extent of my Spanish. So we are coming to you from Studio C at AM 560, The Answer. This is the IRS Radio Hour.
Quiet, numbskulls. I'm broadcasting.
The show is sponsored by the law office of Stephen A. Leahy, PC, and Opem Tax Resolutions.
God bless you, Opem Tax Resolution.
Opem helps people achieve full financial recovery. We help people deal with IRS problems, audits, levies, liens, garnishments, collections, unfiled tax returns, and payroll tax issues. We also help people with mortgage foreclosures, loan modifications, bankruptcy, and other debt-related issues. So if you have any of these problems, or if you know someone who does, contact those great people at Opem Tax Resolutions at 312-664-6649. Again, that number is 312-664-6649. Or you can visit them on the web at chicagotaxteam.com. I want to introduce our technical producer, Debbie Schreiner.
Hey, Stephen, welcome back.
Minus Dan.
I hope you had a great time on your trip.
We did have a great time, and we're going to talk a little bit about that in the second segment, my blog segment.
Dos.
I told you that's the extent of my Spanish.
You don't know what dos means?
I do know what that is. I guess that's add
so
that to my vocabulary. Okay.
Bueno.
Okay, and I want to introduce this kid over here who's talking before he's introduced, Jimmy Leahy.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't need an introduction because I had you last week. And it was a little drawn out last week, but we are back to normality.
I don't know if you ever watched
We are back to the mind frame of fixing our IRS problems. Not only do we talk about that, we talk about other issues such as politics, such as Chicago, because this is a Chicago-based show. And Opem Tax Resolution is a Chicago-based company.
Absolutely true.
If you want to stay...
The Chicago way.
Yeah,
I love that, the Chicago way.
If you want to stay local, if you want to live local, then you need to think local, and you need to call those good folks at Opem Tax Resolution. Well, welcome back, Stephen.
Well, let's talk about something else local because...
Yes, exactly. There is a right before we go into our first segment, I just wanted to say that over in Deerfield, Illinois, Italian Kitchen, they're doing a basic pistol safety course. Hey, if you're looking to get your conceal and carry, if you're looking to just be proficient with a firearm, if you're afraid,
just to handle one safely,
just to understand what it and handle it safely. Mm-hmm. Then Italian Kitchen is hosting a course, and credits can be used for conceal and carry. If you are interested, call for details. Just contact John. Call Italian Kitchen at 847-945-2727, and the date is May 2nd, 2016. There'll be more details coming later. But for right now, remember, Italian Kitchen is doing a basic pistol safety course.
I think we may talk to him next week.
I think we're going to have to give him a call. We're going to have to give that fine man a call over there. Remember, Italian Kitchen,
you're going to use
847-945-2727. Call for details.
I'm a big advocate of the Second Amendment because, like Joe Walsh says, it's the amendment that protects all the other amendments. Okay.
Well, and also that institution is a constitution-loving institution.
Right. Don't they give away
We do. Stop in there and just get your free Constitution. It's as easy as just walking through the door. Now, let's go into our first segment. The News Roundup.
Review and comment on the news.
And we got a couple of clips this week, don't we?
Yes, we have some clips, but because there's some...
I'm only bringing it up because it was a different thing last week. We have to get the listeners,
what I wanted to mention, because sometimes we don't always talk about IRS stuff. So if you have an IRS problem or a question, and I'm not going to address it on this show, if you listen to the show and I don't talk about it, call me, or you go to chicagotaxteam.com. There's someone did this, and that's going to be later on the show. We're going to talk about our Mr. Know-It-All segment, and that somebody got on my website, chicagotaxteam.com, and there's a chat box, and you can chat on there. Someone's waiting to talk to you, chat with you, and he asked a question, and I called him, and you have a question,
do that later on.
You could do that. You can go on that on chicagotaxteam.com or call us at 312-664-6649 and ask the question, I'll address your question.
What's the first thing we got this week for the news?
Well, I wanted to talk about the Obama interview with Fox News when he opened
I didn't
up
hear about this.
When he opened up the big trap door when they asked him about the email question. Are you interfering with the email investigation? And then he should have said, what Obama should have said was, I can't really talk about that because that's an ongoing investigation. But he didn't do that. But remember, he always tells the truth. Remember what he said about the IRS scandal.
Not even mass corruption, not even a smidgen of corruption.
Oh, he had nothing to worry about. He told us.
Well, that's good.
He told us. But I wanted to.
Why are we even doing this?
He told us that if you had your doctor, you can keep your doctor.
Oh,
period.
yeah, he did.
He told us that.
Yeah.
And then he was. They were talking about well, didn't she had all these classified emails and top secret stuff, and he's she wasn't really doing anything. And here's what he had to say about that.
There's classified, and then there's classified. There's stuff that is really top secret, and there's stuff that is being presented to the president or the secretary of state that you might not want on the transom or going out over the wire.
So it's okay.
It's fine. What are we all worried about?
It's classified, but it's classified. It's not classified. And my question is, how does he know what kind of classified information was revealed if he's not looking into it?
Stuff that is really top secret.
What difference at this point does it make?
That's right, Hillary.
What's the difference now? I was a great Secretary of State. I did good stuff. I only want to do good stuff.
I served the people.
I served the lowly people who I want.
She loves the poorly educated.
No, that's Trump who likes the poorly.
I'm sorry.
So, but to me, it's amazing that he's even talking about it because I think what it comes out to is that he may also he said, well, she was careless. I know she didn't mean it. She's just careless, and it's not even like it's real confidential information or real top secret.
Top secret.
I mean, come on. I don't think the law says, only real top secret information is protected. If you could share top secret, if it's not top secret, then you can share it with other people. I don't think the law says that. And what it comes down to also is that he may have been implicated himself because two of the most sensitive emails that was sent found on that server was sent and received by Barack Obama. And so if he sent Hillary top secret information to an unsecured server, then he broke the law too. Now, does that mean they're going to go after him? They're hardly going after Hillary, although there's something like hundreds of FBI agents looking at this. So maybe there is going to be something to it.
You know what? But here's the thing too: is I think what we've learned is let's kind of break away from the emails. I mean, it's starting to be a big problem. Let's do things by paper now. I think that's so we just can avoid this whole thing.
And I want to mention a couple of different stories though that are out there because I read today that in DePaul University has outlawed chalk writing on the sidewalk because some people wrote Trump's 2016 on chalk on the sidewalk, and they've always used that. They've used it in that area before, and other candidates have done it. But when someone, they don't feel safe, Jim, when they see Trump's name in chalk.
And that's the thing is just
so now they've outlawed
colleges just don't like the spreading of ideas anymore. It's just
their ideas are fine. It's everybody else's, and so a couple of these schools now have built walls and they tear them down. And if you have one view of things, that's okay. But if you have a different view of it, well, that's racist and bigoted and homophobic and all of this. And that's where I think we have a problem.
Well, if the IRS has a different viewpoint on you in your tax returns, there's only one person to call. There's only one law office to call within the Chicagoland area. Watch out, the phone just dropped.
I saw that.
And that's Opem Tax Resolutions at 312-664-6649 or visit them at chicagotaxteam.com.
The next segment, we're going to talk about Los Cabos, Mexico.
Oh,
and
baby.
AM 560 trip. It was an awesome trip. A lot of people there, a lot of great listeners, and I want to talk a little bit
Ladies
about
and gentlemen, stay tuned because after the commercial break, more is coming at you on AM 560, The Answer.
Welcome back to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy. Stephen has helped hundreds of Chicagoans recover from financial disaster, and he wants to help you and your family. There are resolutions, and you will hear about all those resolutions during today's informative discussion on the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560 The Answer. Now, here's your host, Attorney Stephen Leahy.
Welcome back. I am your host. I am Attorney Stephen Leahy, and I am joined here today with my amigo, Jimmy Leahy.
Or, as they say, my name is Emilio Bonifacio. It's the blog segment. The blog. The blog.
Oh, Mexico, you sound so simple, I just got to go. The sun's so hot.
With all the nice weather.
Debbie surprised us with the. I was thinking about Perry Mason, and out comes. I
love it.
Nice,
James Taylor.
Nice choice.
Is that James Taylor?
Yeah, that is James Taylor. I remember my wife and I will always listen to the Carolina song. My kids would say, "Not that Carolina song again, Dad." But I like that song too.
Don't you have James Taylor posters all over your room?
Yeah, I'm a big James Taylor fan. Anyway, I have seen James Taylor because my wife likes him, and I had to go see him. But anyway, hola, amigos, as I opened the show, because I wanted to talk about the Los Cabos, Mexico trip on my blog segment this week. Now, I got to be honest with you. Not a lot of IRS questions down there in Mexico for me. So we're not going to talk a lot about IRS stuff in this blog, which
but
I
if
usually
you have
do.
any questions,
that's right.
Make sure you give those fine
That's
folks at Opem Tax Resolution a call at 312-664-6649 or visit them at chicagotaxteam.com. Again, if you have any questions at all, and we don't go over it within the show, just give us a call, and we'll talk about it.
Absolutely, and we'll talk about it on the show, and I'll answer your question on the telephone call.
It's a win-win deal.
And but I wanted to talk about the Mexico trip to Los Cabos, Mexico, because I was down there with the great folks here at the AM 560 The Answer, and a bunch of the staff was down there, and Eric and Marcus and Chad and Michael Mann and Jeff, the general manager, and all their wives and girlfriends and everything. It was great. Amy and Dan, they were just great to me. We had.
It sounds like a regular fiesta.
Very appropriate.
So you know what?
And we met a lot of nice people. Mark and his wife Kate, and Chris and his wife Jeanette. And my wife and I hung out with them and made some good friends, and they're all like-minded listeners here so a big shout out to them. I hope they're listening to my show this week. Now that we're great buddies, they should be listening to my show. They didn't ask me any IRS questions, so I don't think they had any IRS problems. But it was great. I got interviewed on the show, on Dan and Amy's show twice. We went to we had a boat excursion. We went snorkeling. Had a tequila tasting before we went snorkeling. That it was at 10 o'clock in the morning. They took us to this place, and they had tequila tasting at 10 o'clock in the morning.
If that doesn't wake you up, I don't know what will. Tequila at 10 in the morning.
And then we got on the boat and we started drinking, and they had beverages and things. Then we went to this beautiful place where we could snorkel, and the snorkel was great, and the fish were everywhere, and had a great time.
Yeah, so it was the ocean.
It was the Sea of Cortez. Because we were right at the clip, right where we got on the boat was where the Sea of Cortez and the Pacific Ocean meet.
When does the Sea of Cortez end in the Pacific Ocean?
Right at that peninsula. I was just describing that.
What is a peninsula?
Wait, Jim asked that question again.
Where does the? What did I ask?
When does the Sea of Cortez end?
And the
Pacific Ocean meet?
Yes.
Deep Thoughts with Jim Leahy.
Okay, good. I often thought that same thing. But right there they have Love Beach, and then they have Divorce Beach. Right there, yeah, and they have a big arch. I have some great pictures, so I should post them.
Where does Love Beach begin and Divorce Beach end?
Deep Thoughts with Jim Leahy.
That's right. So anyway, the first interview we talked about my show, and they asked me questions about the IRS, and the second show now, I met Amy and I and my wife and a bunch of us, 20 of us or something like that. We went on a bike tour. And
did you have to wear a helmet and elbow pads and
you know
knee
what?
pads?
I did not elbow pads, but they did make me wear a helmet. And then there was enough people there that they ran out of helmets. I tried to give my helmet to somebody else. Oh, let me get you this. I want you to be safe, but nobody would have it, so I had to wear the darn helmet.
I wouldn't have worn it.
I
don't wear a helmet when I ride my bike.
That's the first time in my life I ever wore a helmet on a bike. It's true.
I like the guys.
It's important to wear a helmet on a bike.
I guess, but I never
except
have.
the part where when you fall and it doesn't, get
I did have
head.
my hat underneath there, my Las Cabos hat that I bought. I bought a nice Las Cabos. So I've learned that Las Cabos is Cabos means the end because it's a peninsula, and we're right at the end of the peninsula. And Las Cabos means that it's plural, so there's more than one place. So we had San Lucas and San Jose.
Where does it begin? And where does Cabos end?
Deep thoughts.
Okay, so anyway, when Amy and I were on the bike trip, we had a chance to chat, and I told her, Amy, we have something in common. We both went to the same high school. We went to John Hersey High School.
And your helmet is pink, and so is mine.
Were you there? Did I take a picture of that? But she was, of course, she went there.
You wear Crocs with socks on, and so do I.
I do. But anyway, she went there much after I did. And then I learned that she also went to the same junior high school that I went to.
Ooh.
And that was River Trails Junior High School in Mount Prospect. And then I had to pull out my famous...
what story?
My famous story, which is when Kiss came to... when I was in 8th grade, we won the Kiss concert, and they came and played at River Trails Junior High School.
Did they really?
Yes. And she knew about that, but she was too young to ever go there. And so she thought
Can you tell us a couple of stories that happened when you were there?
I can't, because I think I was 13 years old. So that, although it seems like yesterday that I was there.
What level of popularity was Kiss at when they played at River Trails?
Oh, that was 1976. They were at the top of
wow.
They were at the peak of their career. And that's when Kiss Alive was out. It was the number one record all over the world. I mean, they were huge, and they played. They did all their tunes, Firehouse and
Black Diamond,
and he was spitting blood and blowing up pyrotechnics and all of that.
All appropriate at a junior high,
and that's what Dan said. Dan thought that this is what's wrong with America. Is that we're sending Kiss to. See 13-year-olds to see. And
that's awesome, though. That's you don't see that anymore.
And so she asked me. That was my second interview that I got on their show, and they were asking me about to describe what happened. How did we win? It was a Mars candy company was the sponsor, and you had to collect candy wrappers. But also, if you wrote on a 3x5 card a name of a candy that they had, then that counted as a wrapper. And so then we found out that we timed it, and we found out that writing Marathon Bar was the fastest one. So we'd write Marathon Bar. So if you got in trouble, you had to go write Marathon Bar. And then they gave incentives. Whoever did the most got to sit up in front. I was in 8th grade, and so I got to sit up in front because that's the way it was.
So you had front row to Kiss.
I had front row to Kiss. Well, yes.
Hey there, kids! The hottest band in the world, Kiss!
Here they are.
And he's like having his chest hair shown in like these 13-year-old kids.
Oh yeah, they had the spiked those shoes that they had that made them like 5 feet taller or something.
Remember, kids, stay at school.
That sounded just like
I'm surprised. I really am surprised I just did that. I really am surprised I just pulled that off.
That was good. And Gene Simmons did the blood
with his tongue
hanging down. The whole bit. They did the whole 9 yards. It was really pretty exciting. And every time if I get on Facebook and I posted that on Facebook, hey, Amy's asking, I put it on the John Hersey High School alumni Facebook page. And we had 70 people. Most I had never heard of. I remember that. Everybody remembers that the Kiss thing. It's very big. It was big.
It's huge. It was huge.
So anyway, I wanted to thank the folks here at the radio station. We had a great time, my wife and I. Las Cabos, there was a Secrets spa and resort. It was awesome. I'd love to go there. I tell anybody, if you're thinking of going on a vacation, that's where you should go. The place is awesome. It was clean and people were nice, and the food was great. They had great restaurants. And I'm running out of time, and I haven't even really talked about it at all.
Well, ladies and gentlemen,
awesome.
If you have a secret that you don't want to tell, And if it's IRS related, then these guys can help you. Opem
Very
Tax
good,
Resolution.
Jim. What a great transition.
Opem Tax Resolution 312-664-6649 or visit them on the web at chicagotaxteam.com.
Now I have the next segment is the IRS saga, and there's lots of news on the IRS
and we're
saga.
gaga for the saga, ladies and gentlemen. Stay tuned after the commercial break here on AM 560.
The answer.
You're listening to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy on AM 560 The Answer. Attorney Stephen Leahy brings his passion and expertise to your radio each and every week during the IRS Radio Hour. Tune in, take notes, and be educated. Learn your options resolving financial obstacles that face so many. And now, back to the IRS Radio Hour with your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
We have returned, and I am your host. I am attorney Stephen Leahy, and this is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560. The answer. I had a lot more to say about Mexico. Maybe we'll do it another time. But it was a great place, and I wanted to describe it. And the food was great, and the booze was great, and I didn't even get into that with you. And the company was great, and the weather was awesome. And
What else was great?
I never wanted to come back.
The segment.
This segment is also great.
Let's start it off.
Let's do it.
And this week's segment of As the IRS Turns, Koskinen,
Wherever we can, we follow the law.
Barry Sotero,
Not even mass corruption, not even a smidgen of corruption.
and that ever-favorite Lois Lerner is herself
Thank you. I'm not good at math.
for another week of As the IRS Turns. I'm Gaga for the saga.
Our intro is going to take up all the time. There is no more saga. Okay, but there happens to be, now sometimes we have a slow time and there's nothing really going on in the saga.
Tell me about it.
But this week, there's at least 3 things I could talk about and probably take up the whole saga segment. But I want to mention all 3 and probably not talk enough about any of them.
Yeah.
So the first one is that did you see this, Jim? The IRS now is not... If you're illegal here in the country and you're using somebody else's Social Security number, which is against the law, if you got caught using someone else's Social Security number, there's criminal procedures coming against you.
Of course.
But what is the IRS doing? They're giving them their refunds, and they're not bringing any charges against them. Well, they're just using it to work. That's okay. They can use it to work. And we're going to give them, and that's just to me is unbelievable. This again, it goes back to what we're saying. We're going to make the rules up as we go. I mean, Jim, there's classified and there's classified. There's illegal and there's illegal.
Look, there's a gray area there, you know.
So that's the big, and I think that's a huge scandal.
And you know that's so evident in today's culture too. Take a look at a lot of the movies. You know, for example, like they'll have like the superhero movies, for example. There's not black and white like it used to be, like Batman versus the bad guy.
Good guy.
Now there's like a gray area, you know, like, he's not really that good.
Is that what Batman versus Superman's about? Is that like...
No, I don't know. I haven't seen the movie. So but it just, you can see it reflect in the media or into popular culture.
Because a good guy could be a bad guy and a bad guy could be a good guy.
You know, there's not really any, good or bad, it's just like gray. Like he just decides to do it. So.
The second story is about a federal judge has called the IRS untrustworthy in the Tea Party case. So,
did they really?
Yeah. So it goes on appeal, and they're in the D.C. circuit. Now the D.C. circuit is if it's not
are they racing?
If that's not the most liberal circuit in the country, then it's got to be top 3 and
top trace.
So, but even the judges there have to say, you don't have a lot of credibility on this issue, IRS. You've really lied to everybody about it, including the court system, including the American people, including Congress, and everybody else as it comes down to this. And it has to do with
that's exactly what they're saying.
Absolutely, and even the courts have to say, and that when everybody tells you, there's nothing there, that's just a big thing that the Republicans are making up. When it gets in front of a judge, these judges all agree there's some bad stuff going on here. It's ridiculous. And so, of course, the partisans, this is just made up stuff. The right wing conspiracy, making this stuff up.
Yep.
Nobody's making this stuff up, and it is a crime, and we should hold them to it. Now, the last story I want to talk about is John Koskinen, and they find this is as we were coming on, right? This was breaking news at Breitbart.com.
Yes.
And they were talking
because we record Friday and air Sunday.
Yes.
Just for all you.
So what it comes down to is that the House of Representatives is bringing impeachment charges against John Koskinen.
Oh.
And this is big. Okay, so they want to start the trial.
They want blood.
They want to start the trial. He broke the law, and we should go after him. And I don't mean the law.
There's the law, and then there's the law.
There's rules, and then there's rules. I mean, come on. Which one's I'm going to tell you what. If you break a rule, that rule is ironclad. They break a rule. That's not really. It's not really a rule. I mean, come on.
We weren't really. Come on. We weren't really serious when we passed the law anyway.
I mean, come on. It didn't pass with the majority of Democrats, so it can't really be enforceable.
Yeah.
And that's just the way they think about it. So to me, it's just amazing. So these three, any of these three stories I could talk about the whole time. I didn't get a chance to get into it, but we're going to talk about it in the coming weeks. We're going to talk about these stories because this is big news. And if they go to trial in the Senate to impeach John Koskinen, that's big news. And I think they should impeach him because he has lied to Congress, and it's been proven that he's lied to Congress, and so he should be impeached. My own opinion.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, that is the IRS saga. And there's more coming on that in the next couple of weeks. But, ladies and gentlemen, the IRS is coming after you. If they are targeting you, then there's only one law office to call, and that is Opem Tax Resolutions at 312-664-6649, or visit them on the web at chicagotaxteam.com. Stay tuned, because after the commercial break,
Mr. Know-It-All,
more IRS Radio Hour on AM 560.
The answer.
IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy. Stephen has helped hundreds of Chicagoans recover from financial disaster, and he wants to help you and your family. There are resolutions, and you will hear about all those resolutions during today's informative discussion on the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560 The Answer. Now, here's your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
We have returned, and this is the IRS Radio Hour on AM 560 The Answer. And I'm joined today with my nephew, and I didn't tell people this.
Nobody knew.
But
Nobody
you are
knows
my nephew.
This.
You are my, what else? Co-host, and my very good friend.
An amigo. Oh, wait, that's the same thing. It's one and the same.
Whatever.
Thoughts.
Jimmy Leahy.
That is me, ladies and gentlemen. And ladies and gentlemen, I can only do this one way, and that is to let Rocky speak.
And now, here's that man with a head just crammed full of knowledge, Mr. Know-It-All.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Know-It-All. And remember, as we said, ladies and gentlemen, because this one, this is like a coming back show for Attorney Leahy, and
I'm still on vacation.
He's still on vacation.
I wish that were true.
We're not answering, it's not all about IRS. It's not all about the problems that, you may be facing. And if you have any issues, make sure you give Opem Tax Resolution a call at 312-664-6649 if we do not talk about any of the problems that you are facing. And speaking of which, don't we have, you were telling me on the way down here that we finally have one of those.
I would say finally because it does happen. But today, I got it this morning. Someone went on my website at chicagotaxteam.com.
Okay.
We have a chat box, so you could just get on the chat box and start asking questions. And it was directed to me, and I called the guy after. His name was Irv, and I asked him, hey, how'd you hear of this, Irv? And he said, I listened to your show, and I'm not sure if I heard it on your show or on David Hochberg's Home Sweet Home Chicago, because I've talked about this issue. And the issue that he was concerned about is he had his 2012 tax return that he was preparing, because he had heard me say that if it's over 3 years old, he won't get a refund.
Oh, okay.
And he wants to get a refund.
Yeah,
he wants his money.
Statute of limitations.
That's right. So if you go back, if you file your tax returns more than 3 years after they're due, you will not get a refund. So he asked me today, okay, I'm working on it, and I've heard that that they've extended the deadline for filing your 2015 tax return to April 18th on Monday, and that's true. They have the extension is till April 18th, and the reason is it's till April 18th is today in D.C. they have a local holiday. So it's not a national holiday, but it's a local holiday in D.C., and that's where the IRS offices are, and so their people get a day off. They get a lot of days off, Jim.
It's nice.
I know it isn't. It would be nice to work for the federal government, but they have a day off. So it's Emancipation Day in D.C., and so again, a local holiday. So they're not working, and so because they're not working, then the deadline for filing your 2015 taxes was pushed to Monday, the 18th. So his question was, well, I know that is, but does that apply to my 2012 taxes too? If I file them on Monday, am I going to be within the deadline? And the answer is, yeah, you'll still be within the deadline. And this is why, because it's like when you go to court or something. If you go to court and they say you have 30 days to do something, and that
30 days past September, April, June, and November,
or they say 15 days, and it winds up that 15th day or that 30th day is on a holiday, or maybe it's on a Sunday. And well, how am I supposed to? I can't go file. I can't go to court on a Sunday or a day that they're closed. So as in any court case or anything else, then the next day that it's open is actually the date that it's due. So I looked it up on the IRS.gov, and it says, here's what it says: if Saturday, Sunday, or legal holiday, generally if a due date for performing any act for tax purposes falls on a Saturday, Sunday, or legal holiday, the act is considered to be performed timely if it is performed no later than the next day that isn't a Saturday, Sunday, or legal holiday. The term legal holiday means any legal holiday in the District of Columbia. So not everywhere else, right? The calendars provided in this. Okay, then they talk about a calendar that they have, but
a lot of mumbo jumbo. But trust us,
No, but I think that's interesting. That was a very good question, and I did answer him by my instincts and told him, yeah, it's going to apply. But then I went and looked it up, and I found this, and it just confirmed what I had told the gentleman. Now, if it turned out that I was wrong, I would have called him and told him I was wrong, but I wasn't wrong. I was correct. I know these things, and
So you helped that gentleman with this question?
Absolutely. He had a question. He called. He went online. He had
How easy was it? How long did it take you to answer that?
He was surprised at how quickly I got back to him because But anyway, no, I was.
Let's not toot your own horn here.
No, what I was doing is I was looking at Debbie and she's giving me some time frame, but she's wrong. Okay, so I'm going to go on. Anyway, because I wanted to talk about him, how he contacted me and how he called me. And if you have a question, then you should call me, right? He asked about this, and I thought this was a very timely question and appropriate. And if you have a timely and appropriate question, call me. I'm going to answer it. And I thought, and see, here I am talking about it on the radio because I know other people have that question too.
Of course.
And I know that, so I hope it asks their question, and I hope anyway that answers his question.
You're welcome. You are welcome.
You, Mr. Know-it-all.
You are welcome.
I know.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you have any issues and you have any questions, just make sure you go on. Call.
We're always
online.
happy to hear from you.
Opem Tax Resolution at 312-664-6649 or visit them at chicagotaxing.com.
And tomorrow's tax day. Tomorrow's Monday, the 18th, tax day. File your tax returns.
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. All right, stay tuned because after the commercial break, we're going to wrap this show up with a little more Mexicano talk. So, ladies and gentlemen, stay tuned after the commercial break here on AM 560.
The Answer.
You're listening to the IRS Radio Hour with attorney Stephen Leahy on AM 560, The Answer. Attorney Stephen Leahy brings his passion and expertise to your radio each and every week during the IRS Radio Hour. Tune in, take notes, and be educated. Learn your options resolving financial obstacles that face so many. And now, back to the IRS Radio Hour with your host, attorney Stephen Leahy.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the IRS Radio Hour, and I am joined by my host, attorney Stephen Leahy. Welcome back. Thanks for staying tuned. And Attorney Leahy, can you give us a little more on that?
So Attorney Leahy went to South Carolina at the Hilton Head Island. And then I came home. I did the show. And then I went to Los Cabos, Mexico. And I came home on last Saturday. And then on Monday, the best one of all, I went to opening day.
And I was there too.
You were there too. And I went to opening day, took my boy Jake, and what a great opening day it was. I've been to so many that were cold and lonely. Well, I'm so lonely. But this one was not cold nor lonely. It was very exciting. We came from behind.
It was a great game.
It was a great game. And we came from behind and we win the game. It was just awesome.
It was a great game.
Now I'm going to talk about Mexico a little bit because when I was interviewed, one of the first things that Dan Proft asked me was, "Oh, are you saying that the Cubs are going to win it all?" And I had to tell him, "I am not there yet. I encourage them to win. I want them to win, but I've been a longtime Cub fan, and I don't take anything for granted."
Who said that?
Dan Proft. He's a big Sox fan. Dan's a big Sox fan.
Yeah.
So, but he expected I was going to say, "Yeah, we're going to win this. We got it in the bag."
And that's what we need to do as Cubs fans, just pull the reins back. Going, oh yeah, freak, like they were kind of rubbing it in the Reds' face. At least the fans were, it's just like, hey, look, it's the Reds. They're not really going to be that good this year.
Well, I agree with that. But anyway, it still was great. I have when you see the video, because I do videotape.
We do a video, and if you want any highlight reels, it's on ChicagoTaxTeam.com.
And we have a YouTube channel.
YouTube it. IRS Radio Hour.
That's right.
You can watch all the videos that we've done before.
So I have my Chicago Cubs tie on with my Norman Rockwell.
I heard somebody the other day on the radio on another station. They were talking about how they dress up for. They were making fun of some guy because he dressed up for his radio show, and they're all like, "Yeah, we just wear our slacks and everything, just wearing sweatpants." And
are you making fun of me because I dress up for my radio show?
No, I'm just saying. Okay. Are you reminding me of?
Because I do wear a suit and tie. You know why I do wear a suit and tie, Jim? Because I'm working and I am an attorney, and this is my work clothes. I am working.
I love it.
All right, one more time for anybody who's interested on basic pistol safety course, or eating good food, or actually just looking to get credits for conceal and carry. Remember, on May 2nd, there's going to be a basic pistol safety course at the Italian Kitchen in Deerfield, and the phone number is 847-945-2727. Come on in.
Ask to talk to John.
I can probably, anybody can help you there. More details to come, and remember, 847-945-2727, the Italian Kitchen out in Deerfield.
And be safe with those pistols, folks.
That's what it's about.
I agree with that. Okay, so now you have stolen my thunder, and I have some more thunder, and it's about the Blackhawks. And the Blackhawks, tonight's the big night.
We lost the
first game. I thought they still looked good. I thought Crawford was on fire.
You know what? If I was the Blues, I don't know. I'd be a little nervous, but I don't know. This airs Sunday, record Friday. I don't know how it's going to be. So still, I would be a little nervous. We never make a prediction on the show because we've been burned. I've done it before, and I'll never do it again.
Come back. Oh, sorry. I know we said we won, but we lost.
There was nothing as sad as when the Cubs, within that week, remember, it was just, oh, yeah, we're starting the NLCS. So we come back that next week. It's like,
next week, come and see us. We're here every Sunday.
Come and knock on our door
at 5 o'clock.
We'll be waiting for you.
For the IRS Radio Hour. And if you have questions, call me. I'm going to answer your questions. 312-664-6649. Again, that number is 312-664-6649. Or go to the website, ChicagoTaxTeam.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, same bad time, same bad channel here on AM 560.
The answer.